I think when it comes to Chelsea, we all want to know the end game to this. I mean, they have a good strategy. They signing the young players that are actually have a high potential, and then they also make sure that they loan them to one of their teams, which is Stratford, and also use them at Chelsea as well. But I mean, this is not gonna last forever. You're not gonna sign every young player every season because you already have good players in your team. So I just want to say maybe the end game is not gonna be the end game we are hoping for. I mean, as a Chelsea fan, I can tell you this. My end game is to see this group of guys that are now in the team right now just grow together, be that elite players in the team, make sure that the team is more balanced, even though they can keep on adding some of the youngsters. But I mean, I think we can make it work with this one. For example, we have Esteval right now, which the Chelsea fans now like him so much they call him Wow. And I'm telling you this because I feel like when Todd Boehly decided to come into the league when they bought Chelsea, they were able to look at all the loopholes they were going to use just to make sure that they do things the way they want to do them. I mean, coming up with a loophole of actually using longer contracts and able to split the percentage of the money they bought the player with. If they signed a player for 8 years and the player was costing 80 million, they use a depreciation year, which is every year is 10 million, 10 million, 10 million. That was their loophole. Even though now the rules have changed that you can only sign players on 5 years, even if you sign them on 9 years, but those 9 years don't count in the financial fair play, which is something that I think it's good for other team, but it's bad for Chelsea because they came up with this loophole. But now you're looking at a squad. They have the youngest squad in the league. And I mean, if next season they have a chance of looking out on other players that are really good and be like, we want to sign this player, I just want to know the end game. When are they going to end this? When are they going to be like, you know what? We're not going to sign every young player that is out there to be signed. We're going to sign players that we're going to look at our team and be like, okay, this is where we need more players to come in. So we're going to go out there and sign those players that going to fit in our system. But I don't think this is Chelsea's end game of doing things like that. Their end game is to win trophies while they able to do their strategies the way they are doing it. But my thing is, you're looking at the age of those players. I think Esteva was like what 19, 18. You're looking at Gittins 20. You're looking at Garnacho 23, 24. I guess you're looking at all those players. They are still young. So if you have another right winger that is actually good out there, are you going to sign him? Because I mean, how can you sign that player because you already have Esteval? Because if Esteval continues the way he's been showing us that he's actually going to be, you can't really go out there and sign a youngster. But if you sign that youngster, this is where you actually move that youngster to Stratford. But now, I want to understand how the coach of Stratford will feel about this thing. I mean, you'll have your whole structure going forward in the team like I want to have these kind of players, but if your parent team is like no, don't worry, you're not going to go out there and sign players, we're going to sign players and then the one that we're not going to use will give it to you and then you lose them in France. I mean, it's kind of a nice work because you might get a proper talent that you were not able to buy with the budget you have, but you can able to go out there and get the players that will work for your system. But I mean, for how long? I mean, this is the question. But I think as a Chelsea fan, you are looking at this and you are happy that the team is rebuilding, you are winning things. It's not like when you're rebuilding, it's a dry season, you're not going to get anything. World champions, you want the complete the thing, completes the trophy winning with the conference. And I think you look at the way they've been running the team. It's one of the things that at the beginning were concerning me in terms of how they're signing all these players in long-term contract. And then I look at the business side of it and I was like, Todd Paul is actually killing this. But now I just want to say, I want to know the end game. I want to know when are they going to make sure that they don't sign all the young players that are out there available to them, but they just go out and look for that one specific player that will just go in and fit the missing piece. And I think it's one of those things that they need to do. They need to look at, and I'm sure they've been doing this thing. They're the people that spend a lot of money to buy this team. So they exactly the right people to do this and they know what they're doing. But I mean, if there is a lot of young players that are out here, and I'm telling you, Chelsea is still out here looking for those players. But I'm not gonna say this is the bad thing. I mean, this is a good thing. The team is improving. You get a lot of talent, and if you're not good enough, you're going to move. We sign new guys. So I mean, the guys that are in the squad right now, they probably need to move up the fast pace in terms of like the potential, showing the team and also the fans that they can able to do that. But I think as soon as we don't show this, you're going to move out. Like, I mean, Jackson, I like Jackson a lot, and I was rooting for him because I feel like every time he plays, he opens up the defense. He gives more space to Palmer to run into, and then Palmer will get all these sorts of ideas while he's running with the ball in the big space to able to crack the defense. He can take a shot, he can assist. But my problem with Jackson was all about, can you also finish though? And then it seems like he was struggling with finishing. But I feel like the end game is going to be like, if you're not performing good enough, maybe to a potential that we actually expect from you, you are going to move out of the way because there are lots of young stars that are out there. Even in the development, there are a lot of guys that are still out there playing very well for Chelsea. So I think maybe the end game will be like winning more and more and more trophies. If you like this one, make sure that you like, subscribe, and then you share. And then you can comment down below and tell me, what do you think Chelsea end game is? And if you want to participate in the other conversation, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one.